court decision erasing the federal guarantee of abortion rights was triggering a dramatic political reaction. Remember, Kansas voters rejected a proposed constitutional amendment that would have opened the door to more abortion restrictions there. And then there was a spike in voter registration in Kansas, but also elsewhere among women and in the suburbs. Now, though, there is some evidence other issues may be more pressing with voters. Here's one example. Online searches related to crime and immigration are rising. Searches for abortion are falling. That's according to an Axios analysis of Google Trends. Here to share his insights, someone who studies this quite closely, the CEO of the Democratic data firm TargetSmart, Tom Bonier. To that question, I want to go through some of your findings in a moment, but July and August, you saw the Kansas referendum, you saw this voter registration spike. The important thing is sustaining that into September and October. Do you see that, the continued registration or immigration crime taking more precedent?
So that's the key question for this election cycle. Given this unprecedented spike in women registering to vote, does that turn into voter turnout? There are some early signs we're looking at. Believe it or not, people are requesting ballots in some key states like Georgia, Pennsylvania. These are limited data sets, but at this point, we are seeing women requesting mail ballots at a higher rate than they did at this point in 2020. So that's an early sign that it could be happening, but still a lot of time left to answer that question.
So walk us through. As you know, even some of your Democratic friends think that you're a tad overly optimistic about this. They do. So this is what your analysis of just Pennsylvania. New registrants after the Dobbs decision. 35% of them are in the urban area, 41% in the suburban area, 24% in the rural area. If you just look at voting patterns, if you're a Democrat, you look at that and you say, good. That's a preponderance of our voters. Is that what's happening?
That's right. When you look at where they're coming from, but not just that, who they are. Pennsylvania is a state where you can register by party. We're looking at the gender. The new registrants since Dobbs are overwhelmingly women, but not just women. More than half of those women who have registered to vote since the Dobbs decision are under the age of 25. They're very young. They're engaging young voters, which is a problem for Republicans. Young voters generally don't vote in these midterm elections, but they're very engaged. The women who are registering to vote since Dobbs are 4-1 Democrat, Republican, looking at the party registration. So that's significant as well.
4-1 Democrat. You say, I just want to put up, this is Kansas. This is Kansas, and you see the timeline. The Dobbs decision leaked. Remember, it leaked, and you see spiking a little bit. Then the Dobbs decision released. You see that dramatic increase in voter registration. Again, if you're a Democrat or if you're abortion rights supporters, that is heartwarming. However, back to the question, do you see evidence that not just requesting ballots, but that is registration still rising, or has that peaked?
The voter registration went to incredibly high numbers. In Kansas, between Dobbs and that Kansas vote, women were 70% of the registration. That was a peak that you're not going to see sustained. But what you are seeing, perhaps more importantly, is that the numbers are ahead of where they were at this point in 2018 or 2020. So, yes, the numbers have likely hit a spike at that immediate period after Dobbs, but they're still sustaining a level that's much higher than you would expect to see in a midterm election.
And so you talk about this theoretically, then you talk about it, okay, let's look at a map. In the state of Arizona, in the state of North Carolina, the state of Ohio, the state of Pennsylvania, the state of Wisconsin, they all have in common Senate races, pretty important Senate races. Many of them have governors and Secretary of State's races as well. We have seen a women registration advantage, more women registering than anybody else. We've all seen a Democratic registration advantage. Again, that data there that we're talking about in those cases is a couple months old, or several weeks old anyway. The question is, when do you know? When do you see, as you're looking every day and every week at the new registration data, how do you know if this is enough to essentially change the outcome of those races?
We won't know in reality until after the votes are cast, which I think is a disappointing answer for a lot of people who are following this so closely. But we'll have better clues and cues as we get closer. Again, the early vote data can be helpful. It's not going to tell us everything because in the end, it's an algebraic equation where we don't know the other side, who's going to vote on Election Day. We saw in 2000 where Democrats got big vote in the early vote, and then Republicans came out in even bigger numbers on Election Day in some of these key House races, especially where they picked them up. So we're going to get a better sense of if this engagement is continuing, but we won't know for sure until Election Day.
And to that point, do you see engagement on the other side? That Dobbs happens, they see the reaction among Democrats. I think we need to work on registration as well. Do you see a counter effort, if you will?
Well, this was an election year that was going to be in Republicans' favor anyhow. It was a midterm election as the party out of power. Historically, on average, for the last 50 years, the party out of power has won the popular vote for the House by about 5 points. Republicans aren't there, but they have a lot of structural advantages at this point And so this wave can perhaps slow that down. It could counter it. It could leave Democrats back in control of the House, holding on to the House. But that's a tough job.
As you learn more, keep in touch. We'll continue the conversation as we go. Tom, thanks so much. Up next for us after